around our transport nodes, I mean, there's so many amazing small town sites up and down the railway lines. You know, in particular, some of our suburbs as we move further out along the Midland line, the Armidale line, the Mandurah line. And the government is actually putting together their planning reforms to be able to increase density around those nodes. So I think it's going to be really important for the future of Perth to be able to create urban villages and really be able to increase the density where there is existing amenity, or the creation of new amenity to create really vibrant communities. So, you know, looking at where there's nearby shopping centres, near schools, it's going to be super important. So not just in the city, but being able to make livable, walkable neighbourhoods is something that's going to be really important, I think. I mean, just because I live and work in the city doesn't mean that all the apartments should be there. People should be able to choose if they want to live and work in a suburb, but they don't need to commute to get to there as well. I think that's going to be really important.
I chose Aria because it was close to the beach, basically, because I've always wanted, my dream forever has to be live on the water edge. Well, that's about as close as I'm going to get. Other than that, you've got to buy a home, and you need millions to live on the ocean these days, or especially Perth. City-wise, you need millions, so yeah. No, that's as close as I can get, so that's it.
We've really got to see more apartments in Perth along the train lines and the major public transport routes. I don't like seeing apartments built out in suburbs that are yet to get proper services. So I think we really need to increase the density around infrastructure that's already there. So you look at somewhere like the Fremantle train line, perfect example. At those stations in Leederville, on the Fremantle line, you've got West Leederville, Daglish, Subiaco, right down to Cottesloe and Fremantle. I think that's where we need to be doing this infill and putting apartments high. I have no problem with height and density. Perth seems to have this fear of density living and height, and Perth seems to have a fear of high buildings. I don't know why that is. Multi-storey just seems to put the fear of God into people in Western Australia. I have no idea why. When you go to other cities in the world, people live like that, especially throughout Asia. One of our neighbours, I was in Singapore a few weeks ago, and there was 45-storey apartment towers, and they look great. I think they look cool.
I think apartments would be more suited along transport corridors, not necessarily isolated in certain parts suburbs. The reason I say transport corridors are because people want that convenience when living in an apartment, so they can easily get accessible to the city or their workplaces. I think, yeah, probably around transport corridors, and that's what I noticed it was like in Melbourne and Sydney as well.